become a little bit extreme, where San Francisco wants Americans across the country to boycott Arizona Diamondback games, as if the Diamondbacks had anything to do with this new legislation.
But this new legislation is being supported. Apparently, lawmakers from across the country, including
Correct.
Texas, Alabama, Utah,
Jan Brewer
and
came out this
California.
morning.
The state you're running for
That's right.
congressman in this state here, it said they're going to pass some kind of similar bill to that. Why is that? Is because the feds are not stepping up and the states have to step up?
And that, you mentioned the Confederacy in your comments in the beginning. And you look at slave states versus free states, and you look at the Civil War, which had a lot to do with slavery, also had a lot to do with states' rights.
Okay.
And our federal government's responsibility is to protect our borders, not just from illegal immigration, but from anyone entering. The last couple of terror cells arrested in New York were people who simply walked across the border without permission. So it's a matter of national security as well as economic security.
Wow, okay.
And I think if the federal government is derelict in its duty, then sure, the states have a right to protect themselves and secure their own borders.
I agree with you. I agree. Danny, what is the family saying right now about people?
You know what? People are still coming in. I'm still waiting for people to come in because we got a little bit of a late start. So
I think the issue too, Shirley, and I said this with a lot of people, I have a lot of friends on the other side of this issue, and I'm certainly, as you know, as the political brother here, and I have to remind everyone, once again, I am neither hip-hop nor Republican. Please stop writing me. That is Shirley. I however, do...
He's a lying black man. He's lying.
That's right. I do deserve the vehement leftist, anti-leftist letters, so send those to me. But please don't criticize me for being a Republican. I am not a Republican. Now, having said that, I think part of the issue with all these things is that it has to do with examining the issue with a historical perspective or without. Those of us whose skins are not scarred or thickened by our past experiences are going to look at it differently. For example, I was here in Los Angeles, where I grew up, subject to many of the police patterns that today people would call an outrage, routinely stopped. I grew up in the Los Angeles where I knew if I went past certain streets, I was bound to get stopped. For America to sit back and act like that didn't exist, to me, angers me.
And you're absolutely right.
So today, these kinds of things, now not from folks like, again, remember I have friends on both sides of this issue. They don't see it that way because I go, see, these issues so much echo the way that they treated black folks that it gets stuck in my throat. And I go like, there's no way.
Afraid.
There's no way. And not only that, when I look out and see, it still looks to me, and this is the part that gets a little bad, it still looks like the same people that persecuted me are still out there. They're just 10, now they're 10 and 20 years older than me, so they're 63 and 73 out there. But the same folks that persecuted me and harassed me, and I was also one of those kids on the bus in LA's first busing program. You know when you roll up and the parents are out there with the signs, we don't want you here.
Right.
I was that child too. So for me to look at these things without that historical perspective and go, oh, no.
we don't get down like that.
See, and they go like, but you can't look at it, Mario. I said, can we look at America's historical relationship with Mexico? No, we can't use that as part of the examination. See, part of the issue, and I understand, it's a law, it's a crisis here.
Right.
But everybody, and that is why it is so politicized. I'm just saying, because people are going to bring into that everything they bring to bear, whether or not, and like I said, my feelings may not even be relevant. I mean, I admit, but you can't get away from those feelings.
This man is under conversion, so he has issues. He will become a Republican.
At least I'm anti-Democrat too.
Sounds like the music from
Most
Omen.
importantly, we're all Americans, left or right, white or black. It doesn't really matter. I didn't experience in my life experience, obviously, what you did. People don't stop me because of the way I look. So I get your perspective. I look at the situation as very much an economic one. I'm out speaking usually every day, if not 2 or 3 times a day, to different people throughout the community. And the people who are the angriest about this issue are the people who've come here. I was at an event last week where the entire audience was from Czechoslovakia. I don't know how we had an audience just like that, but that's who was there. They were furious, both on 2 fronts. One, our path towards socialism, because that's what they tried to escape. Right. And the other was they did the immigration process properly, and then don't want other people not to do the same thing. Right. And I understand the desire for the American dream. And I understand why anybody from anywhere in the world would do whatever they could do to come have a better life here in America. I get that. That's one of the cool things about our country, is that opportunity that a black man can be president. Again, I don't really care. We get characterized as Republicans or conservatives as being racist, when that couldn't be further from the truth for the vast majority of us.
And even as the radical leftists here, let me be clear on this too.
Right.
I've come out over and over again, you know, being a non-member of either party and saying, I really find that to be a really false perception of individuals. And certainly today, the Democrats, too, need to look at, I think that racism, these kind of issues, these are world issues.
Right.
And they're in every part of the, everywhere you look, really.
You can look in any group.
And including us. We are also racist. Right. We have racist black folks and racist Mexicans
Senator
and all
Robert Byrd was a member of the KKK. He's a Democrat, right?
Yeah.
And we're the racist. So...
It's not quite that simple.
Exactly.
But again, my issue is with these kind of issues. You have to sometimes. This is where I agree they have to tread lightly, and I think the Republicans are sort of trying to tread lightly.
Right.
When you align yourself with issues that historically are going to get you a group.
Right.
Okay, that you know what I'm saying. That's going to come with that issue.
Right.
Then you have to somehow figure out a way for you to say I'm this but not this, and I think that's
the thing
the
that
challenge.
bothers me the most about this issue from a political standpoint is that I think both parties are trying to pander for votes.
Oh,
that's exactly with no real solution.
Oh, man, Pete,
no real solution.
Oh man, I got into a major argument for somebody I wasn't even talking to. I just said, you know, Arizona must have a very fat checkbook because I can just see, you know, there's going to be a lot of lawsuits. I was just making a statement and I got called all kind of nut. What do you call it? What did it? The word? Oh, I was a moron. That's what I was. A moron. And I wasn't saying it to be nasty or anything. You know how I am. You know what I mean? I just said they must have it because I'm letting you know right now. I just see a lot of lawsuits. That's the statement.
Right.
I got called all kinds of things. Guy had no idea who I was. I'm like, look, I'm not here to fight with you. I don't even know who you are. But
I'm willing to make a bet.
I see that happening.
I'm willing to make you guys a bet either way as it stands right now. And I want to go on record for this. Okay. I think it is political posturing, just like you're saying. And I think they're going to. I think that this law is really a dog and pony show because it's going to be found unconstitutional. That's what I told
and
it's going to be found unconstitutional
look
because
at Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, every year there's a vote that comes up for statehood. And every year the people of Puerto Rico say, we don't want it. Now, yesterday in the House of Representatives, they voted step 1 of going back towards statehood. And great, if they want to become a state, I don't know. That's wonderful. Become more part of America. But I look at the Democratic Party, and what they did was change the language of this particular legislation to skirt around the issue to lead towards this automatic statehood. And it's nothing more than they're worried about November. So let's assume we get some more Latino people to vote and get us 2 more, 3 more, 4 more, 1 more, whatever it is, congressional seats and 2 Senate seats. That's not why we should be doing things.
That's not why we should be doing
things. Well, exactly. Well, you know, the Latinos actually voted. We brought this up too, Shirley. The Latinos don't really vote as the block as you would think of immigration law anyway.
Right.
It's just that this particular Arizona law, is bringing up different issues, and I think that's the problem. The stopping you, that whole issue, that's the profiling. Because in general, the Latinos, we've argued that the Latinos are actually voting for immigration reform pretty much. It's amazing.
We got to move on to 2 more topics. This topic can go on forever.
No. And this is the kinds of discussions we should be having on all platforms and all across the board. I don't want to get into an argument with everybody. I'm tired of it. I need all of you to come to the table and come up with reason and hear. You got to hear the people's story. And I believe that's what you're going to do when you run. I really